This is Joe Todd. Okay. Okay, thank you. November 13th, 1982. This is Joe Todd. Interview with Grace Ann Draper. Mrs. Stanley Draper. Mrs. Draper, where were you born?
In Helena, Helena, Ohio. Now that is a little suburb of East Liverpool, Ohio. And we later moved to East Liverpool, but I was born in Helena.
What year were you born? When's your birth date?
I don't know what year I was born. November the 24th.
What's your earliest memories of Helena or East Liverpool?
My earliest memory of one thing was that I was always running away. Always. Papa and Mama could never keep me. Mama, they had 7 girls, and I was a third one girl. And I never was home. I was always visiting with somebody, a neighbor. So one day Papa put a fence around the place, and I thought I'll climb over it and got hung on my pants. That followed me the rest of my days. No one ever let me forget that
How'd you get down?
Oh, well, Papa, he eventually helped me down.
Eventually? Did he let you hang there for a while?
Oh, a long time. It seemed to me an hour, but I suppose it was about 30 minutes, but he just let me hang there. That's the one thing I remember about my childhood, was running away, always looking for something that was on the outside.
Did that stop you from running away after you got caught on the fence?
Oh, no. I still ran away.
Okay. What was your father's name?
His name was John Smilsabaugh. Let me see. John W. Smilsabaugh.
And where was he from?
Oh my, I've forgotten. He was from down the river toward Parkersburg and those places, in Marietta, Ohio, down in there in the country.
Mm-hmm. What was your mother's name, her maiden name?
McLeod. It was McLeod, M-C-C-L-E-A-D.
Mm-hmm. Where was she from?
Same place.
Same place.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Where did you first attend school?
Where did I?
First attend school.
I went to school at Helena, Ohio. That was a suburb of Oklahoma City. And I went to Dayton, Virginia, to Shenandoah College, and I went to college there. I didn't finish high school, but I finished my course of high school, and then I went to Shenandoah College and studied violin and piano. Graduated in violin. The piano was my love.
What was your violin teacher's name?
I couldn't tell you.
Where did you go to high school? Where did you go to high school?
Where did I go to high school? I never went to high school.
You didn't?
No, I just went to grade school in a year, and then I went to Shenandoah College and had 2 years there. That would be about 1 year college.
Mm-hmm. How large was the grade school you attended?
Oh, let's see, about 40.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how large was it?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I don't know. It was in Helena. It was pretty large. There were about 40 in our class. That was a good size.
What were some of the games you played as children?
Now you got me. I always had so many things to do that helped Mama at home and walk back and forth to school that I can't remember that I ever played very many games.
How far did you live from school?
I didn't live. When I first started at school, I lived quite a distance, about 3/4 of a mile, but to a child that is for a piece. And then when we moved out to the country near Oklahoma City, and not too far from here, in East Liverpool, we moved out into the country, and then I went to a country school.
Mm-hmm.
Went to a country school, very poorly. Not very good, not very good.
What kind of house did you live in Helena? Was it a frame house or a brick house? Frame house.
And a lovely fence around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we called a cottage. Isn't that what they called them in those days?
Yes,
a cottage?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It was a cottage. Rarely did people then have 2 stories.
What was the kitchen like?
Well, we ate in the kitchen. We didn't have a dining room, but we ate in the kitchen.
What kind of stove did your mother cook on?
A wood stove.
Mm-hmm.
Wood and coal.
Okay. Where did you meet Mr. Draper?
At Shenandoah College.
What year did you attend there?
Couldn't tell you. I'll have to look way back. I think it was about 1918. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not real sure.
Yeah. Did you attend there during World War I?
I don't know.
Because World War I was 1917, 1918.
Yes, I must have.
Okay.
That's where I met Stanley, and I thought, oh my, I just can't stand that man. I think it was born grown. You see men like that. He was born grown up. No, I just thought I wouldn't have anything to do with him. But he had a lot to do with me.
So when did you begin liking him?
Oh, I began tolerating him after he came to see me at home in East Liverpool. He kept coming, and Mama... Everybody thought it was Mama's beau. He always looked grown. Mm-hmm. He wasn't old, but he was mature. Mm-hmm. And they thought he was Mama's beau.
Where was he from, Mr. Draper?
He was from Lasker, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And that isn't very far from Norfolk. Lasker, North Carolina.
Was he going to school there also?
Oh, yes.
What was his major? Was it music or?
No.
What was his major?
But he took music. I think that's the reason he fell in love with me, that I was musical, and I took music and studied violin and played violin, and I played the piano.
You still play violin?
No, but I love piano. I can still play the piano, and I play the piano here all the time.
Oh, you do?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. What, do you remember some of the tunes you sang as a child? Some of the songs you sang?
If I had more time, I could remember all of it.
Okay. Did your mother or you do any effort for the war effort during World War I? Like, did you knit sweaters for the soldiers, or did your mother knit?
Papa was a soldier.
Hmm?
Papa went to war.
Which war was he in?
When was the Second World War?
Well, that was in 1940.
No, the First World War.
the First World War was 1917, 1918.
I think it was about 1920, 1919, or 20 when he went.
When did you and Mr. Draper get married?
Forgotten. I'm awfully sorry.
Oh, do you remember when you first came to Oklahoma City?
Do I? I thought it was a stepping off place. He was just bound I'd come out here. He was sold on Oklahoma. He was sold on Oklahoma City from the time he stepped his foot on the soil. And yet he was a Tar Heel, North Carolina.
What was your first impression of Oklahoma City? What's your first memory of Oklahoma City?
If I can think. I know we had a lot of hardships, but I can't remember.
Did you come by train?
Came by train.
How long did it take to come from Virginia to Oklahoma City on the train?
Well, a day and a night about. It took a long time. I know we landed down at the station at night and they met us. That's when it was kind of a problem to meet people because not everybody had a car.
What do you remember about Oklahoma City in those days? What was your impression of it?
Well, I'm one of these people that always could adjust. I'd always, if I had to do something, I'd do it, and it was okay by me, whether I liked it or not. And but I loved it because Stanley did, and Mama, and we were no sooner settled, and I was having such a wonderful time and thought this is a wonderful place. And Stanley sent for my folks. That's all I'd ever known, was responsibility.
So your folks came out here? Were the streets paved when you came here?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, this is quite a little town. Big town. It was Oklahoma City. And it was a nice town. Nice people, good schools and everything. Of course, not too many of them, but oh my. But to have Papa send for my family when I'd always had so many younger than I was, I think 6 or 7 children younger, and then Stanley would send for them. Didn't seem to bother him a bit. It really didn't.
Where did you live at this time in Oklahoma City?
Now I don't know, I'd have to have a clearer mind than I have today. We always had a nice home.
Did you know Mr. Overholser, Henry Overholser?
I never was intimate with them, but I knew them.
What was he like, Henry Overholser?
Mr. Overholser? Oh, he was a fine man and well educated, and he was top society.
What about Mrs. Overholser?
I didn't know her.
Yeah.
But we knew him.
Now, is this the one that built the Overholser mansion? Is this old man Overholser that you knew?
The older one.
Yeah, okay.
That was the one I knew, and Stanley knew him real well in business.
Yeah.
Stanley was at the Chamber of Commerce, you know, and it wasn't long till Stanley worked up to the top to be manager. It wasn't very long, and Overholser was one of the mainstays. Was
Oklahoma City the capital when you came here?
Yes.
It had already been moved from Guthrie.
They had moved the Capitol here and had built the building.
Okay.
I mean, that was one thing we took people to see was our new Capitol building.
What was life like in Oklahoma City during the 1920s?
That was during the war, wasn't it?
Well, it's right after the war.
After the war.
Yeah. You know, the Roaring Twenties.
Well, so far as I can remember, it was just everybody busy and building a new town. Stanley was here. He wasn't manager of the chamber then, but it wasn't any time until he was. Overholser was manager then, but it wasn't any time until Stanley had worked himself right up.
What did you think of the flappers? What did you think of the flappers? The women that wore the short skirts in the 20s?
I think we were all flappers, if you ask me.
Did you wear the short skirts?
Well, pretty sure. Yeah.
What kind of shoes did you wear?
Oxfords.
What is a flapper?
What is a what?
What is a flapper?
A flapper, a girl? Oh, it's one that goes around, well, shaking herself the way she shouldn't.
Doing the Charleston? Did you do the Charleston?
What?
Did you do the Charleston?
No. You think I'd be allowed to dance? But after Stanley had been here a while, he broke down and we joined the country club and we had a good time.
In the 1930s, after the stock market crash, what did you and Stanley do in the Depression?
He was still in the chamber, wasn't he? That he would be, wouldn't he? We just did like everybody else. We did without.
So
sometimes Stanley wasn't paid for a long time, but eventually, why, you'd be surprised how well Oklahoma stood the bad years. You'd be surprised. It wasn't bad at all. But I know that when my folks moved out here, I was so disappointed because it's hard whenever things aren't going too good to have the responsibility of a family. But Mama was pretty smart. They got a home right away. But even then, it was hard. But Oklahoma City wasn't as bad off as lots of places.
We had a lot of farmers around here, so most people have plenty of food to eat in the Depression?
Yes, always had plenty of food during the Depression.
And so Stanley still worked with the Chamber of Commerce.
Started in with the chamber and worked right up till he was managing director.
What were you doing on December 7th when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor?
Don't remember.
What did you do during World War II? 1941 through 1945.
That would be after I was married, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Did you help in the war effort?
Oh, my, yes, and Stanley did too.
What did you do?
What did I do? Well, I had 3 children and no help, so I didn't get to do many things, but I'm not sure what I did, but we all did something,
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you. I'd have to think back.
Do you remember VE and VJ Day, the end of World War II?
Yes.
What did you do on those days? Do you remember? Okay.
I'm sorry.
When did you first join the country club?
I don't know.
Okay, you said that you and Stanley finally joined the country club.
Uh-huh.
What was it like in the early days at the club?
Oh, it was an awfully nice place. Now, I wanted to join the country club right away because they asked us. But Stanley, he was dyed in the wool Southerner, and you didn't join those things unless you had money and you had a home, had everything else to go with it. But eventually I talked him into it.
Mm-hmm. Was it in Nichols Hills where it is now?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Did you know Mr. Nichols?
G.A.?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was he like?
Oh, he was an awfully nice man. Just the finest. Just the finest. No, I wasn't intimately acquainted with him, but Stanley was.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of Stanley's best friends and helped him more than anybody else.
Yeah. How many children do you have?
3.
How many grandchildren?
Rosie has 2, Stanley Jr. Yeah, 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any comments you'd like to tell your grandkids about your childhood or about your life? Things that you've done that you'd like to pass on to them?
Of course, we lived down the Ohio River, just the railroad track and in our home. If you've ever lived near a river, you know that you just kids live on it. So, one time we decided that we would take a floating trip. The floats, you heard of them, the float. We would go as far as we could down to the dam. Boy, I tell you what, the scare of my life was when we got close to that gap. And the traffic was, the current was so fast that we had the worst time finding a place to land. I think that was one of the worst scares of my life,
Mm-hmm.
was not being caught in the river. But eventually we did find a place that was sandy. It went out into the river, But oh, how we loved that river. Oh. Mm.
Did you learn to swim in the river?
I never could learn to swim.
You didn't?
Well, I should have had a teacher. I told you about my going to the bottom of the river, didn't I, when Stanley let go of me.
Oh, yeah, tell me.
He was teaching me how to swim, and he let go of me to swim, and I just went down to the bottom of the river. So all kinds of things around me, mostly rocks. I've never seen anyone as frightened in my life as he was whenever I came back up.
Was this after you were married? Or before you were married?
Before I was married,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Before I was married.
Yeah.
Oh, Stanley wouldn't have allowed it. Then after. But I tried anything, but it was terrible. The things I did everything that Stanley Jr. did. And I never will forget one time, one of the worst experiences of my life was that we had a dog, and the dog got the neighbor's chickens. So Mama's Papa's relative, Papa's aunt, said if we would bring the dog up to our house, her house, that they would keep the dog. And I walked up the railroad track 6 miles to deliver that stinking dog. It never dawned on me to drop him and let him go his way.
Let me see. Any more comments you'd like to make about your childhood or your life with Stanley?
I had a wonderful childhood. I always had a good time. I know I used to run away. That was the worst fault I ever had, was running away and not being able to find me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most I can remember, but oh my, I had such a wonderful time. Always. Papa was so good to us, even before I was married. Papa and Mama were always good to kind of let us do our thing.
Okay.
That thing hits you the wrong place, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's fine.
Here's
That's
a dog.
fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. No, I'm fine.
I had another little fellow here. Here it is. Put that back there. Oh my.
No, that's fine.
Oh, I always have to have it back there.
Thank you.
Isn't that better?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
More better?
Mm-hmm. You have any more comments you'd like to make?
Oh my.
Anything you want to tell me, or anything you'd like to tell me, or?
Always had to work hard. But the nicest thing ever happened to me, they let me come back to Shenandoah College and teach. I taught violin and I played piano for everybody. Mm-hmm. I still accompany a lot. I do a lot of accompanying here, but I accompany people.
Mm-hmm. So you did teach at the college then?
Shenandoah College.
Was this after you were married?
No.
Before? Mm-hmm.
No, I wasn't married till I came to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Stanley was out here first. And then I came out. Mm-hmm. And he sent for my family, which was awful.
Now, in your life at Stanley, were you mainly a housewife or what? What were your main duties? Everything.
Oh my goodness, yes. Entertained. I will never tell you, and I was a mighty good cook. You'd be surprised. And most of the stuff I did by myself with maybe a maid helping. Mm-hmm. Stanley was always good to have a maid. Yeah. Always. But oh my, and I did all the entertaining mostly in my home. Mm-hmm. I wish he was here to tell you. Yeah.
Do you remember any of the tunes now, or the games you played as a child? Can you think of any?
Oh, hopscotch, my land, sakes alive.
You played hopscotch and what else?
Name some games.
Oh, there's hopscotch, like you mentioned.
What?
Hopscotch. Did you play Whiplash?
Yeah, you know, I'll say. We call that, we didn't call it Whiplash.
Crack the Whip.
Crack the Whip. Crack the Whip. You know, I was always kind of scared of that.
Let's see. Do you remember any of the tunes you sang as a child? Any songs?
Not right off. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, I tell you what, I'd like to come back in a week or so and talk to you again.
All right, I wish you would.
Okay.
I'd appreciate it.
Will you play the piano for me?
I still play the piano here all the time. There isn't a week goes by or 2 or 3 days that somebody will come for me to play the piano.
Mm-hmm.
I played the piano constantly. You'd think they paid me for. They did think that was paid. And the other day somebody said, well, after all, Grace Ann, you get paid for that. And I said, well, get paid for what? What with? I said, I'm not paid. And they couldn't believe that I had been playing all this time.
How long have you been here?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you today. I should know. I should be able to tell you, but...
Would you play the piano for me now?
Oh, I don't play solos. I play accompaniments and things like that.
Oh, you do?
Well, they wouldn't think of going out and playing a hymn even without me. Play the piano for them.
You won't play me just one little tune?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no, but I do play hymns and play accompaniments.
Okay. Well, I'll come back and we'll talk again.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.